Hi, my name is Hannah Landreth, and I just got back from outer space. I'm an astronaut, and I'm here to tell you guys everything that um, being an astronaut is all about. Well, I work for NASA, and while I was in outer space, that's who I traveled with. There was a lot of other astronauts that came with me in our rocket, and while we were there, whenever we were in our rocket ship, there was no gravity, which is what holds you to the ground. So if you weren't holding on to something, you would float all around, and that made just everyday tasks really difficult. Like you couldn't eat off of a normal plate because your food would start floating all up around you, and because of that, we had to eat anything that we couldn't hold with our hands. We had to eat it in a baggie. So we would have little bags of food, and we would have holes in them, and we would just have to squeeze it into our mouth because all of the food would float around off of our plates. Other really cool things about being in space is that whenever you're outside of the rocket, there's not enough oxygen for you. So you have to wear these big white space suits with these big helmets that all provide oxygen for you so that you can function. Well, when I traveled to space, I went to the moon. And so after we landed on the moon, we got to get out of the rocket and walk around. And because there's not much gravity, whenever you walk, you kind of hop and you float, sort of, which was really, really cool. And we had a cord connecting us to the rocket so that we could have oxygen so that we wouldn't float away. Well, the moon shape doesn't actually change. It's because whenever the Earth is rotating around the sun, it shades different parts of the moon at different times. So really, the moon is always a complete circle. But whenever there's a shadow on it, sometimes it might look like half of the moon, or maybe sometimes there's no moon at all. But really the moon's there, it's just that the light from the sun can't reflect off of it anymore because there's a shadow from where the Earth is blocking the light from the sun. Well, there are 8 official planets in our solar system. The first one is Mercury, and it's really small, and it's the closest to the sun. After that is Venus, and Venus is the hottest planet that there is. It's second from the sun, and Mercury and Venus both don't have moons. Then comes Earth, which I'm sure you guys know has one moon, and we live here obviously, and it's the most friendly environment for things to live on of all of the planets. After that comes Mars, which is a giant red planet, and it has 2 tiny moons. Next is Jupiter, which is the biggest planet that there is. After that comes Saturn, which you guys have probably seen. It's a circle and it has rings around it, which is really cool. Uranus has many, many moons, and as does Neptune. They're very, very similar planets. Thank you guys so much for listening to everything that I know about outer space, and I hope that you guys enjoyed hearing it from an astronaut's point of view.